If you've been paying attention to the financial world lately, you've probably heard it. Cathie Wood, the CEO of ARK Invest, just gave one of her most serious warnings yet. And if you own XRP or you're considering buying it, what she said should matter to you more than anything. Because this isn't just another market opinion, it's a signal. A signal that something big is happening underneath the surface. This is Crypto Equation, and today we're breaking down exactly what Cathie Wood's final warning really means, not only for the global economy, but for XRP and for anyone paying attention to the future of money. Cathie Wood has spent years telling investors one thing: the old system is breaking down, and innovation will replace it. For the past decade, she's been one of the few institutional investors willing to stand up against Wall Street's groupthink. While others clung to the safety of bonds and legacy stocks, she backed the most disruptive technologies of our time: artificial intelligence, genomic research, electric vehicles, and blockchain. And in 2025, as debt levels hit new highs and the Federal Reserve struggles to balance inflation and growth, her message has become even clearer. The financial system we've relied on for decades is reaching its limits. In her words, when innovation is ignored, opportunity disappears. She's not just talking about tech stocks. She's talking about a full-blown transformation of how value moves, and that's where XRP enters the picture. Right now, the global economy is on a knife's edge. Debt is exploding. Central banks are trapped. Inflation may look under control on paper, but the cost of living tells a different story. Governments print money to pay off old obligations, and the cycle keeps repeating. Meanwhile, traditional banks are still using systems that haven't changed since the 1970s. Slow, expensive, and outdated. That's what Cathie Wood is warning about. She's not saying the world is ending, she's saying the system can't adapt fast enough. And when systems can't adapt, innovation steps in. That's why she believes blockchain isn't just a technology, it's a necessity. While the financial world debates whether crypto is a fad, the innovators are quietly building the rails for a new financial era. Ripple, through XRP, has been doing exactly that, connecting global payment networks, removing friction, and showing how digital assets can solve real problems that legacy systems can't. That's the part of Cathie Wood's warning most people miss. When she says innovation is mispriced, she's talking about technologies that solve inefficiencies, the ones that fix broken systems. And that's precisely what XRP was designed to do. Let's unpack how these two narratives, Cathie's macro warning and XRP's opportunity, actually collide. Cathie has said repeatedly that innovation cycles follow crises. When old systems start to fail, new systems emerge to replace them. In 2025, we're watching that pattern unfold in real time. The traditional banking system is under pressure. Global liquidity is tightening. And while regulators argue about interest rates and debt ceilings, innovators are building faster, cheaper, and borderless alternatives. That's not a coincidence. It's a transition. Every major technological revolution happens when existing infrastructure can't handle new demand. That's where we are now, and that's why XRP matters more than most realize. Let's talk about XRP's place in that transition. Unlike speculative meme coins, XRP has a defined mission: to move value instantly and securely across the world. For years, its biggest obstacle wasn't technology, it was regulation. That changed in 2025 when Ripple finally reached a settlement with the SEC. The result? XRP is not a security in secondary market trading. That statement unlocked the door for institutional participation. Now major asset managers like Franklin Templeton, Grayscale, and Bitwise have spot XRP ETF filings sitting with the SEC. Some are delayed, but none have been denied. The market is quietly preparing for approval. Once that happens, the same wave of liquidity that drove Bitcoin's ETF boom could flow into XRP. Cathie Wood understands what that means. She's long said that capital always moves toward efficiency, and few assets are more efficient than XRP when it comes to cross-border value transfer. Let's step back for a second. Cathie Wood's ARK Invest fund doesn't directly hold XRP, but it holds something more important: the philosophy that drives XRP's success. ARK's entire portfolio is built around one idea: disruption.
Disruptive technology doesn't just compete with the old system, it replaces it. In her interviews, she's said that investors who ignore disruption are making the same mistake people made before the internet. That's the same mistake many traditional investors are making with crypto, and especially with XRP. Because XRP isn't just another digital token. It's infrastructure for a system that's being built beneath the surface while most of the world looks away. Cathie Wood's final warning was clear. The next 5 years will redefine global wealth. She believes we're in the middle of the largest transfer of value in human history, from old industries to new technologies. And the investors who don't adapt will be left behind. It's a message she's been repeating since 2018, but in 2025, it carries more urgency than ever. Why? Because innovation isn't waiting for permission anymore. AI, automation, and blockchain are merging. And the institutions that once resisted them are now trying to catch up. In the payment sector, Ripple and XRP are already bridging the old world and the new, providing speed, compliance, and scalability that traditional systems can't match. That's why her warning resonates so strongly here. When she says don't underestimate innovation, she's describing exactly what XRP represents. Let's talk about numbers. At today's price of roughly $2.85, 1,000 XRP costs less than $3,000. But if XRP captures even a small fraction of global settlement markets, estimated in the trillions, the upside becomes significant. If XRP trades at $6, that's a 2x gain. At $10, more than 3x. At $20, nearly 7x. And that's not speculation pulled from thin air. It's math based on adoption, utility, and scarcity. The same formula Cathie Wood uses to value innovation stocks. She's said before, we invest in exponential growth, not linear growth. Blockchain adoption, like the internet in the 1990s, grows exponentially. That's why linear thinkers underestimate it. Now let's look at the macro side, the foundation of her warning. The U.S. debt crossed $35 trillion this year. Interest payments alone are approaching $1 trillion annually. Central banks are running out of tools. They can't raise rates without breaking credit markets, and they can't print endlessly without fueling inflation. It's a dead end, and Cathie Wood knows it. In recent interviews, she's said the system is too slow to adapt to exponential change. That's not just about tech. That's about money itself. The infrastructure that moves global capital, the SWIFT system, correspondent banking, was built for an analog age. It wasn't designed for instant borderless settlement. It wasn't designed for a digital economy. That's why XRP exists. And that's why the same warning she gives to Wall Street, adapt or die, applies perfectly here. What most people don't understand is that XRP is already solving problems the legacy system can't fix. International remittances, cross-border liquidity for banks, instant conversions between currencies. Those are real use cases, not promises. Ripple has already partnered with financial institutions across Asia, the Middle East, and Latin America. And as regulations evolve, more will follow. That's the adoption curve Cathie Wood keeps talking about. When technology works, it starts quietly, then explodes all at once. That's what's coming for blockchain. And XRP, with its efficiency and clarity, is positioned to be one of the biggest beneficiaries. But here's where most investors go wrong. They don't connect the dots. They hear Cathie Wood's warning about innovation, but think it's only about AI or Tesla. They forget that blockchain, and XRP specifically, are part of the same transformation she's describing. This isn't just about electric cars or smart algorithms, it's about financial automation. The same forces revolutionizing data and energy are about to revolutionize money itself. When you see it that way, XRP isn't a speculative token, it's a tool for that transition. That's what most people don't know. Cathie Wood's final warning isn't about panic. It's about perspective. She's telling investors that the old playbook no longer works. Bonds and banks aren't safe havens anymore. Cash is losing value every year. The only safety now lies in understanding where innovation is heading and getting there before the crowd. That's how the next generation of wealth will be built. It won't come from guessing, it'll come from understanding. And if you're watching this, you're already part of that small group paying attention early. Let's bring it all together. Cathie Wood is warning that traditional finance is in decline. At the same time, she's urging investors not to ignore disruptive technologies that are redefining money, data, and industry. That's exactly where XRP lives, at the intersection of finance and innovation. So, while Wall Street worries about debt ceilings and governments debate inflation numbers, innovators are quietly rewriting the code of global finance. 5 years from now, people will look back and say they saw the signs but didn't act. Don't be one of them. In the end, her message and XRP's mission share the same truth. Change isn't coming. It's already here. The question is whether you'll recognize it in time. If this video gave you clarity, hit like and subscribe to Crypto Equation, where we break down complex markets into simple, actionable insights. Tell me in the comments, do you agree with Cathie Wood's warning, and do you believe XRP will play a role in the next financial system? Remember, opportunities don't wait. They reward those who are ready before the world catches on. This is Crypto Equation, and I'll see you in the next one.